So was Fallout 4 a modding failure? I want to make something pretty clear when I do say that statement. I don't mean it in a traditional sense. Obviously, yes, if we look at Fallout 4 as an isolated game on its own, I think it's very far from a modding failure. Any other game series to get this amount of support for mods and just really this many mods in general adding cool, new, and unique things would be absolutely awesome, but this isn't any old game, this is a Bethesda game. So with that, I think it's only fair to compare Fallout 4 with its predecessors, that being Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3, and even more so behind that, Skyrim. So let's just take a little bit of a look at the landscape that Fallout 4 was kind of entering into. Basically, if we look back at Fallout games in the past, that being predominantly New Vegas and Fallout 3, they always performed slightly less than the Skyrim games. And this is from a modding point of view. I don't mean game sales or anything like that. It's just Skyrim modding has always been more popular than that for Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. They both did have very massive modding scenes, and in some sense even better than Fallout 4's, but Skyrim is really the pinnacle. It's the thing we want to achieve with a second game, and I don't think Fallout 4 is anywhere near that. So why would I call it a modding failure? Well, it definitely has some major successes along the way. Basically, it did kind of bring mods to consoles. No other game did do that, and obviously subsequent games have done that since, that being Skyrim Special Edition, and obviously I think this is a huge thing. I made a whole video about that topic, but I don't really think it was done well. I think the first and kind of main thing that led to Fallout 4's slow downfall is actually the release of the modding tools, and more importantly the release fiasco of console mods. So mod tools for Fallout 4 came out later than any other Bethesda game. These didn't come out until March to April of the following year, so that being Fallout 4's release in 2015. In 2016 we saw the release of some of the mod tools. All the other games had them at release or at least a month later. No game broke that month span. Obviously Fallout 4 broke it by quite a few months. So for one of the biggest releases in kind of Bethesda's series in a long time, that's a real questionable decision. No one's sure why they did that, but regardless, I think it was a huge mistake. Having mods right off the bat would have kept people interested for longer, and even beyond that, it would have had more people interested in modding. If they release it to a player base of 100,000 versus a player base of 1 million, the amount of people that would stick around for that kind of draw of the modding scene is much less. The probability just isn't there. Well, even beyond that, I just don't think Fallout 4 is as good of a game as Skyrim or Fallout New Vegas or just Fallout 3 even. Yes, it's a good shooter. Yes, it's a pretty interesting game as far as kind of the future looks. If you compare Fallout 4 to Fallout New Vegas or even Skyrim, it is graphically much nicer and just in that way a much enjoyable game. But as far as an RPG goes, or really a good base game to mod to your desire, it does not compare even remotely to New Vegas or Skyrim, at least in my eyes, and frankly I think in the eyes of a lot of other people as well. Then we had the console mod fiasco. So this is where basically console mods 1 came out extremely late, like 6-7 months after Fallout 4's initial release, despite being promised, not really given a date, but it was advertised as a game with mods for consoles. And then even beyond that, there was a massive amount of stealing going on from mods on Nexus.net being ported over to consoles, no credit given, Bethesda not taking down those mods, and a lot of mod authors did quit, aka Lord of War. Fortunately, he did recently come back. Now combine all of this, and what we have is a gradual stagnation. I'm not even going to touch on PS4 mods because I think people lost hope on those a long time ago. I believe all this bottled up until the release of Skyrim Special Edition, and that was kind of the nail that really just broke everything. Fallout 4 mods were going pretty good up until that, but with the release of Skyrim Special Edition, so many modders jumped ship. I make a series called Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. Really, my minimum for that series is 5 mods. I typically do 5 mods, and I don't ever want to do below 5 mods because I just think that's a good number. Since the release of Skyrim Special Edition, every single week I've tried to make that series has been a struggle. And by that I mean 5 mods that are even remotely good enough to put in a video. That's the struggle I've been having with that series, and it's really depressing. There simply aren't mods being released, and even beyond that, there aren't really that many good mods being released. Fortunately, it has began to pick up a little bit, but still we are not nearly on par with some of the other games out there. For context, Skyrim Special Edition and Fallout New Vegas got more releases than Fallout 4 since the period of Skyrim Special Edition's release. And you'd be like, oh well, that's obvious for Skyrim Special Edition, but no, it's not, because Skyrim Special Edition had 80 to 90 90% of the mod authors rushing to port their mods over, and yet it's still getting more new mod releases, not ports, just totally new standalone made mods for the game than Fallout 4 is. I think it's a culmination of all these things that means Fallout 4 isn't gonna really recover. Like, yes, I think it'll pick up maybe a little bit more from the spot we are on now, but I just think Skyrim Special Edition and really just some of the previous Fallouts were better platforms for modding than Fallout 4, and right now the best bet is to wait for Fallout 5. This is an unfortunate reality. Obviously there's still going to be good mod releases for Fallout 4. I'll continue to make videos on them, but I don't think it's going to be the modding icon that Skyrim Special Edition was, or really Skyrim before it. Skyrim had modding for 5 years before we reached to the point of Special Edition, and I don't think Fallout 4 has another 4 years in it. I just don't see it. Although hopefully we won't have to wait that long for a new Fallout release. Regardless, I basically have been thinking a lot about this lately, especially with the release of Skyrim Special Edition, and I know a lot of you guys might be thinking, oh, it's just because the game so recently came out and mod authors are going to start coming back, but it really just doesn't look that way. Skyrim Special Edition has been out a month, and we've seen a very small kind of growth in Fallout 4 since then. It released, mods kind of fell off a cliff, and since then we've gotten a few cool releases here and there, but typically we're getting like 1 to 2 weapon mods a week and maybe a cool power armor mod, and that's really it. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts on this kind of situation are. What do you think is going to happen with Fallout 4 modding a year from now or even 2 years from now? I'd really love to know. I'll definitely be reading the comments on this video. As always, I thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you found this informative, or I mean, hopefully, I don't think you'll find it helpful, but some way interesting. As always, I thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.